Hi, hello. I don't know what I'm going to be using from this footage and audio, because I'm recording audio and footage at the same time, which is quite new for me. Usually I pre-script everything and also don't show my face, and I might not show my face in this video either, but we're just gonna see. If I do end up showing anything, you'll see my microphone. Here it is. You can tell this is unscripted. I just wanted to be able to get a video out because one of my 2023 goals is to continue posting videos on YouTube. Because I think it's fun. I get to use my degree for something. But another goal I have in 2023 is to read more. And how I have decided to do that is I'm gonna read a book every month. Now, I was also thinking, like, oh, what are other fun, quick videos that I could do? I have my knitting chats, which I'm still gonna be doing. I'm currently working on one right now, and I have a couple ones that I could push up, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm really trying to make those good, but After Effects takes so long. On top of everything else that I have to do, plus, you know, I gotta script it, blah 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 blah. I also gotta do another Deltarune video eventually. Yeah, so there's a lot that I want to do, and you know, we got real world stuff, but it's still fun. I have some tea. I'm gonna take a quick sip of my tea. I also wonder if my mic's gonna die. If it does die, we'll cut and figure that out. Anywho, so one of the ingenious things I thought to myself was, what if I could kill two birds with one stone? And did a little book review for every month I read a book. Nothing in depth, just, you know, me spouting my mind. Hence why I'm also trying the let's just sit in front of a camera and see what happens. My January read this year was this book, a novel, Last Days by Adam Nevill. There you go. I'll probably take a close-up of that. That's going to be better. So I read this book in January. I finished two books actually in January. This book and another book called Sorrowland, which I'm either counting for my February or we're gonna see, because I really enjoyed Sorrowland a lot, and I'm definitely gonna do a review video of that, whether or not it becomes, you know, a month book. But this is definitely my January. The back cover says, when guerrilla documentary maker Kyle Freeman is asked to shoot a film on the notorious cult known as the Temple of the Last Days, it appears his prayers have been answered. The cult became a worldwide phenomenon in 1975 when there was a massacre including the death of its infamous leader, Sister Catherine. Kyle's brief is to explore the paranormal myths surrounding an organization that became a testament to paranoia, murderous rage, and occult rituals. The shoot's locations take him to the cult's first temple in London, an abandoned farm in France, and a derelict copper mine in the Arizona desert where the Temple of the Last Days met its bloody end. But when he interviews those involved in the case, those who haven't broken silence in decades, a series of uncanny events plague the shoots. Troubling out-of-body experiences, nocturnal visitations, the sudden demise of their interviewees, and the discovery of ghastly artifacts make Kyle question what exactly it is the cult has awoken, as well as its interests in him. That caught my attention. I thought that was pretty cool, especially to have a, you know, a documentary-based... Like, this could essentially have been a found footage film, but it's in a it's in a book format, which I thought was very cool. I have read the author, Adam Nevill, before. I saw his movie, if you've ever seen the movie, The Ritual on Netflix, that is based on a book he wrote called, surprisingly, The Ritual. It's a very good book. It's on my bookshelf. Because I had to read it for a Gothic Lit class in college, and it was a phenomenal read. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun. Quite spooky. So when I saw this at Barnes & Noble's a couple months back, I thought to myself, oh, let's pick that up. It sounds interesting. I know the author. I really liked reading The Ritual, especially because it had what I call Michael Crichton writing, where I didn't find the writing too difficult to understand. It was pretty fast to read, and it helps that The Last Days, I kind of devoured that book. I tore through it real quick, minus nearing the end, but we'll get to that. I'm gonna take another sip of my tea. So, my review of The Last Days is, I thought it was a very good book. It has really interesting build-up, especially if you've ever been into true crime or, like, cults, which might be a little strange to say if you've ever been into those things, but, like, I had a true crime phase. I had a phase where it was like, looking up the Manson family and stuff like that. I say phase. I don't know. Has anybody else gone through a true crime phase where they used to think it was kind of interesting, but especially in, like, present day, you kind of look back and go, like, that was weird, and it's weird that people are so into that these days. Like, why do we need 14 different documentary-style videos on Jeffrey Dahmer, Or Ted Bundy, like, what's up with that? I digress. This is all fictional, so I found that very interesting to read. Again, I really like the writing style. The print of the book is very good. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a pretty thick book. It's about, like, it's like 520 pages, so pretty chunky, but it's a quick read in my opinion. Granted, I guess if you don't like horror, it might be a bit more of a slog. The main character, I think, is really cool. Kyle has a lot going for him. I like the dynamic between him and his friend Dan, who's the other main character. The two of them go really interesting, though there were times where at least I personally was a tiny bit confused who the point of view was from, because I could have sworn it was from Dan's point of view a couple of times. But for the most part, I think it's either all in Kyle's perspective, or it's just very few moments are in Dan's perspective. And you can kind of see my cat Luna. She went to the vet today. Hi, baby girl. She was very brave at the vet today. I thought it was a really good read. The monsters in this and the mystery behind it, the way they unveil deeper, darker mystery is very interesting, because you don't get everything all at once, and you really are put into Kyle's perspective, where you know what he knows, and when things are revealed to him, it really hits you hard. Even though there were some moments where I was like, clearly, character X is lying, like I have this gut feeling he's not telling the full truth, and then it's revealed that I was right, so that was quite good. Truly, I only really have two critiques, and like the first one is just a general dislike of ableism, which I hope I'm using that correctly, because there's moments in this book which, when Kyle is starting to see the horrors, and as the horrors continue to kind of plague Kyle, and it continues to become apparent, like, oh, here's the supernatural's here now. There was quite a lot of talk about schizophrenia, and not in like the positive way, and not in like the, oh, am I developing psychosis way, that like potentially you could use in terms of like, oh, here's a supernatural horror, but my characters don't believe in the supernatural. It was more genuinely just like, oh, I don't want to become, a schizophrenic derogatory, stuff like that. Like, it wasn't terribly prevalent, but it was prevalent enough where I was like, mate, this isn't it, that's not it, that ain't it, chief. So, that made me cringe, but I'm also reading another Adam Levine, why do I keep saying that? Adam Nevill book at the moment called No One Gets Out Alive. Also another Netflix movie, surprisingly. I'm about halfway through it, and that one also has some questionable mental illness comments, and also, frankly, questionable class commentary. But what are you gonna do? So maybe it's just a trend with this author. I don't know. I don't remember any mental health talk about in The Ritual, minus I do remember it being like a thing of grief. Granted, though, it's been a while since I've read that book, and watched the film. Both of those I haven't done in a while. So that's one thing I could have done without in The Last Days. I really could have done without, you know, that kind of derogatory talk towards schizophrenia. And then the only other critique, the ending. Very good ending, but by the last, 4 chapters, everything kind of starts to drag. Once you hit a certain point, after you've kind of, discovered everything there is to realize about this evil, menace plaguing the book, the villain, it kind of becomes this slog of, okay, we get it. The creatures are coming for Kyle and everybody who knows about them. And I guess, minor spoiler alert, the cult is still trying to do cult things, etc., etc. And, they take, 2 more trips after, everything's been revealed that I found a little pointless. And then it kind of just abruptly ends. Which is fine, but there's a couple of resolutions that I would have liked to see. And I'm being vague and spoiler free for these ones because I'm just trying to do a really, a really chill, very relaxed one that I'm kind of just gonna pop out and see what happens. Again, I might just use the footage that I'm recording right now of myself. Which will be wild for me, but what are we gonna do? Sometimes you just gotta have fun when you really want to just put something out on YouTube. When it's taking you forever to talk about the movie Men, 2022's Men. Spoiler alert, that's my next video, potentially, unless I find something that catches my fancy more, but I really should just stick it out with this one and finish it. That's really all I have to say about The Last Days. When I said this was going to be a short video, I truly did mean that. Would I read The Last Days again? Yeah, it's one of those books where I'll probably keep around, read it one more time, and then potentially donate it to free up space for new books. Am I going to continue to read Adam Nevill's books? Probably. Jury is still out though, because I'll be honest, if there's another one No One Gets Out Alive, I might stop reading, because I like that one a lot less than I liked Last Days. But again, this is not a No One Gets Out Alive review, this is a Last Days review. So rating. I'm gonna rate them. What does that mean? I have no idea. It's based on vibes. It's based on vibes in the moment. So, I'm gonna be doing it out of 5. I think I would give The Last Days a 3 out of 5. It gets docked for the derogatory schizophrenia. It gets points docked for the ending for me personally. So we'll see how I edit this, but my mic did die. But I lost my momentum. But I was rating the book The Last Days, and essentially I was saying I give it a 3 out of 5, which I think is pretty strong. So that's my review of The Last Days. I did mean it when I said this was going to be a short video, because I really just want to put something out there. We'll see how much I enjoy this, because I'm at least going to do it for February. And then we'll see if I do it ever again. And who knows, maybe I'll do more videos like this if I enjoy putting my face out there, because I don't really like putting my face in front of a camera. If you watched this video, thanks for indulging me. If you've ever read Last Days by Adam Nevill, tell me about your experience in the comments. Or if this video inspires you to go pick up that book and you read it, come back and tell me about it in the comments. What else can you tell me about in the comments? Oh, I guess, I don't know what kind of book recs I'm looking for. If you read horror books, and because this is I am reviewing a horror book, put in the comments below your favorite horror book. I don't know if I will have read it. If I have, I'll give you my thoughts. If I haven't, maybe I'll pick it up. Yeah, so that's about it. I think I will wrap it up and leave it here. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me on this little chat. I love ending my videos like that, even if it's not a knitting chat, just because I think it's really cool that anybody takes time to watch my videos. Like, even my guaranteed viewer, my best friend IRL, I still even appreciate it so much when she takes time out of her day. And you know, I'm gonna shout it out right here, right now. Shout out to my 16 subscribers. I don't know who any of you are, except for at least one of you. Again, my IRL best friend. I hope you guys know that I really appreciate it. I appreciate anybody who watches these videos, likes these videos, comments on these videos. It means quite a lot to me. And I guess, you know, tell me about the book, if you liked it or not. Tell me recommendations. Heck, if you even want to put an input into if you like the knit and chat videos better where my face isn't seen, or if you don't mind these videos. Well, I'm gonna sign off. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining me. And, you know, as I like to say, good luck out there, okay? Stay safe.